Hey guys, today we're going to be learning a card trick that I call Colorblind. I've just put it together using some of the moves we've been learning over the past few videos. So let's take a look at the performance. So the spectator just says stop whenever they like. Let's say right there. Those cards go down on the table and the next card down will be their selected card, the 9 of Hearts. And this card can just have a signature. Okay, we'll just do a quick CD on its face, and the sign 9 of Hearts goes into the middle of the pack, and the deck can be cut by the spectator if they want to cut it, or just cut it twice like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to deal through the cards and find your card, but I'm going to do it without looking at the faces. You see, this deck is a mark deck, so when I deal through the cards like this, I can tell what this card is before I even turn it over. And that's how I'm going to find your card. Watch. The next card, this card right here, is your selected 9 of Hearts. And I know that just because of the markings on the backs. And whenever I do this trick, people always say to me, can we look at the backs of the cards? And I say, well yeah, sure. Can't you see the markings? And they say no. And I don't really understand why. I guess they just must be colourblind, because it's pretty obvious to me, the markings on the backs of the cards. So that's what this trick looks like. Let's get into it. So obviously for this trick you're going to need one red back card. The rest of the cards are going to all be blue. Obviously you can do this with a red deck and then you just get one blue card. You can just change it to match whatever decks you've got. So in this trick there are several sleights and moves that I've taught on this channel that you're going to need to know to do this trick. Whenever we get to those moves in this tutorial, I'll link the tutorials on my channel on the top left corner of the screen. Just click on them and go and learn the moves, come back and you can do the trick. So the first step to this trick is to get your red back card in second position. Okay, so I've got it in second position, and then I'm going to take about half the deck into my left hand. And that red card's in second position, this packet in my left hand, and there's a smaller packet held in my right hand that go on top. And as I put them on top, I'm going to get a pinky break. So you can see I've got a break there on top of those cards. So that's the first step. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to riffle force the selected card. And if you don't know how to do a riffle force, basically you're going to hold the deck in a normal mechanics grip with your pinky holding this break at the back here. You're going to angle the cards down slightly so the audience don't see this pinky break, and then you're going to take your left thumb and riffle the front left edge of the cards like this. It's pretty easy to do. So you're going to start riffling, and it helps if you take your left index finger and just push against the bottom of the cards like this. It gives more support when you're doing the riffle. So you're going to riffle down the top left edge and you're going to ask them to say stop. So whenever they say stop, you just say stop right there, and this won't be where the break is, okay? But what you're going to do is, when you say stop right there, you're going to swivel your left wrist to the left like this. You're going to close, you're going to push down on the front left edge, so the opening at the front drops away, and then you're going to pick up the packet with your right thumb like this, levering it off, and you're going to lift it off from the break like this. So you're not actually lifting off where they say stop at all. They say stop here, but you're going to close that break at the front, lift off from the break at the back like this, and put those cards on the table. So this creates the illusion that you've lifted off the cards where the spectator said stop, but actually you've just lifted off all the cards at the break, and that's what it looks like in normal speed. So once you've done this riffle force, what you've got is a packet in your left hand with the red card in second position. What you want to do is you want to do a double lift. So you do a double lift, and this shows their selected card, and then you can sign the card, obviously. And if you want to get them to sign the card, I would make sure you hold the card down like this so they can't move it around and see there's another card underneath. Okay, so once they've signed and remembered their card, we're going to do another double lift to turn it over, and we're going to put that packet down on the table. We're then going to pick up the other packet, and we're going to do the keycard principle. If you don't know what the keycard principle is, I'll link my video on it up here in the top left hand corner. But basically what we're going to do, we're going to pick up this packet and we're actually going to turn it towards ourselves so the bottom card is exposed. And we're going to remember this bottom card, so I'm remembering the 4 of clubs here. Once you've committed this card to memory, you're just going to dribble all these cards on top of that other packet and square them up. Now at this point you can get the spectator to cut the cards. You might think that's risky as they might cut to the red card, but the chances of that happening are actually pretty low. And as I say that, I cut to the red card, but I promise you it's not much chance of it happening. Really, it's a low chance. So I would take the chance, but you can choose not to if you wish. It's not vital that the cards are cut. So once you've done that, you're going to start your whole patter about how the cards are marked, and you can see the markings on the back. As you say this, you start dealing through the cards, and you're going to deal cards down onto the table. And all I'm looking for is that 4 of clubs to appear. That's all you're looking for. You're not looking at the backs of the cards at all, you're looking at the faces. And the thing to remember here is don't start dealing the next card like this until you're sure that this card that's turned face up is not the 4 of clubs. Because what can happen is, if you keep dealing, you'll flash the red card when you get to the 4 of clubs. You'll understand what I mean in a minute. We're going to deal through the cards. And just like that, you see we've got to the 4 of clubs. And what I mean about not dealing this next card is, when I deal the 4 of clubs, you can see, just as I put that card down, my left thumb is already pulling across the next card to deal it down. And if you do that, you're going to expose the red card before you want to, so the whole trick will be ruined essentially. Obviously, if you do this in the performance and you mess it up a bit, you can still make a good trick. You say, see the markings on the backs of the cards and then reveal it's their card. But it's a bit of a premature ending to the trick. So I would advise that you slow down your dealing a bit so you can be sure when you reach that 4 of clubs you won't reveal the red card. Once we've hit the 4 of clubs, because of the keycard principle, we know that this card right here, well, the second card down, is going to be their selection. So what we do is we say this card right here is your card, and I know this because of the markings on the back. And then you do another double lift. So you double lift to show their card, and this should get a decent reaction. They did cut the cards after all. And then what you're going to do is you're going to gather up all the other cards. You gather them up and you start talking about how people always ask to see the backs of the cards, to look at the markings. At this point you do another double lift. And then you're going to do an Erdnase change. If you don't know how to do an Erdnase change, I'll link it again up in the top left hand corner of the screen here. But basically, the basics of the Erdnase change is you take your index finger and push the entire deck back apart from one card. You pull that red card out with the base of your right hand over the top of the top card and then slide it over the top. And that's how the change works. Obviously, you want a more in-depth tutorial. If you don't know how to do it, go to the tutorial I've linked. So you do an Erdnase change like this, so like that, and you say people must be colourblind as you do that. So that red card is revealed, and then you can turn that over to show that it is their signed selection. And obviously, a signed card in this trick really makes the trick better, as it astounds them that their card really does seem to have changed colour. It really does seem impossible if the card is signed especially. Okay guys, that's it for this tutorial. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like, favourite, comment and subscribe. And if you want to keep up to date with what's going on my channel, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The links will be down in the description below. As always guys, this has been Complete Deception, and I'll see you later.